Continuing Bandai's streak of making lesser-known mobile suits from Universal Century, this is the Galluss-J from Double Zeta Gundam. Designed by the amazing Yukata Izubuchi, who is most known for being the designer of the new Gundams, Zabi, the Alex, and a lot more fan favorites, it was developed by Axis Xeon, incorporating elements from the previous Xeon mobile suits such as the Goof series and the movable inner frame technology from the Earth Federation forces. The Galluss-J is a fresh take on the Xeon Monoite Grunt. Does the high-grade model kit do it justice? Let's get to the unboxing. Released in August 2025 for 2,750 yen, tax included, is the high-grade Universal Century Galluss-J from Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta. The box is slightly bigger than usual and the box art is illustrated by Morishita Naochika. Looking at the front of the box, we have the classic HGUC style box art with the Galluss-J in action, shooting with its finger launcher. We don't have any other mobile suits in the background, which is usually what they use to tease future releases. At the side, this is what it would look like collecting dust in your backlog. It is HGUC 262. We're getting closer and closer to that big 300. Do you guys have any guess on what mobile suit that would be? Comment it down below. At the top is just the description of the mobile suit and the legal information. At the bottom we have the different action poses, the mono eye, the arm punch, finger launcher, and the missile pods. We also have different articulation gimmicks and the weapons. Opening up the box, we have 3 bags of runners, a builder's note, and the manual. The manual is the classic HGUC style with the painted model on a black background. We have the specification there at the sides. It is a taller mobile suit at 21.1 meters. Opening up the runner list, there are no unused pieces, which hints to having mostly brand new runners. The rest is just standard instructions. At the back, we have a description of the mobile suit and the armaments, such as the missile pod, finger launcher, beam saber, arm punch, and the energy gun. Then a little story tidbit, and of course the color guide. We have a total of 8 runners, 7 of which are labeled Galluss-J, so they're not reusing any parts from the older HGUC Shizum Gallus, which in lore, this design was developed into. The only reused runner is the standard beam saber runner SB13 in clear yellow. There are no polycaps in this build. Lastly, we have a color correcting sheet of stickers mainly for the vents and the mono eye. That's it for our contents, let's get into the build. The build of this kit is pretty simple. If you've built previous HGUC mono eye grunts, this will be familiar. The pieces are nice and big because of the larger design. We really don't have any tiny pieces to worry about except for the mono eye, so if you have issues with kits having tiny pieces, you're gonna love this one. We don't really have any crazy construction gimmicks to note of. Everything just smoothly fits together, nothing really loose or problematic. Maybe the missile pods are a bit prone to popping off seldomly, but that's by design, so you can easily replace them with the open version. Overall, it's a familiar, simple HGUC mono eye build with big pieces leading to a nice solid build. Taking a look at the aesthetics of this kit, we have the Izubushi design faithfully represented in model kit form. Interestingly, they didn't change much from the original line art in terms of proportions, which is pretty rare. Usually they update the older designs to match today's aesthetic, but they went for the more accurate approach, which is good for those anime accurate purists. Though the green they used is slightly more saturated than the line art, but besides that, it looks straight out of the anime and I love it. However, this does have the model kit flaws, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the stickers. The vents here on the front skirt are stickers. It covers actual detail. The base of the thumb is a pretty bad sticker. It wraps around it, so it doesn't look that good to be honest. The mono eye and the black area is a sticker. The knee vents are stickers also covering detail. And these vents at the calves are pretty bad. They have to fold in, and to be honest, I could have probably done it better, but I would rather just paint it because there's actual 3-dimensional detail on the vents, so it will look better that way. So yeah, the vent stickers are not it. You can probably just mask it out or use some markers. For the color inaccuracies, besides the stickers, we have it pretty good. The only thing we are missing are the black areas within the red pieces here in the shoulder and on the back of the torso. These aren't that bad since they're pretty easy to mask or hand paint. Then the thruster bells in the backpack should be in red. So pretty color accurate for an HG. For the seam lines, we have one in the middle of the torso, one at the thighs, and one at the middle of the lower leg. Overall, these seams aren't that bad. Looking at the construction, there are ways to close them easily while not making it harder to paint. For size comparison, it is around a little bit less than 15 centimeters. Here's it next to my current work in progress, the G-Quax Custom, video coming soon, the recently released G-Fred, the Police Zaku, and the RX-78, so it's a pretty big and chunky body. So overall, pretty good for a high-grade Xeon grunt. Usually they get the shorter end of the stick when it comes to color inaccuracies, seams, and stickers, unless your name is Zaku too, of course. Most of these issues are easily fixable, so I wouldn't lose too much sleep about it, just give it some elbow grease. The best part of the aesthetics is definitely how line art or anime accurate it is. If that's what you're looking for in your models, then this is for you. Let's talk about the extras for this kit. For the hands, we have the finger launcher both open and closed, the holding fist for the other hand, we have the extended forearms for the arm punch gimmick, the extended forearm armor for the left hand, the energy gun, the alternate mono eye, the open missile pods, and the beam sabers. The right hand is just a holding hand on a ball joint, but the hand is the female part of the joint, which is usually not the case. The left hand has an articulated thumb on a ball joint. The fingers are switchable, so you can have it in shooting mode for some finger action. Good thing this hand is on the left hand, you don't want it pulling a Kanye. We then have the arm punch gimmick, which we will need the extended back of the forearm for the left hand. You remove the armor first, pop up the forearm, pop in the extended arm, put the armor back, and the fist. Both arms can be extended, so these hands are ambidextrous. We then have the energy gun. These red circles are stickers as well as the sensor. There is a seam around the gun. The secondary handle is articulated. To equip it, you just sandwich it onto the right hand. Now to properly get it onto the other hand, you're gonna need some finagling. Okay, there we go. This is pretty much the only pose you can do if you want it being held by both hands, but it looks cool. Next is the alternate mono eye. This is just a black sticker. Then you place a pink mono eye sticker wherever you like. To place it on, you just pop off the top of the head and replace the existing mono eye and put back the top. Unfortunately, we don't get a moving mono eye gimmick like the HGUC Galluss, but oh well, it works decently enough and you can always move the sticker. We then have the missile pods in active mode. It should be black around the missiles. To place it on, you just push the missile pods with a tweezer or something, not girthy, that can fit inside. Then just pop it off and put the active pods in, and there you go, simple as that. The beam sabers are your standard affair. We get 2 of them and we have 2 clear yellow beam effect parts that goes in and out of your hand, if I can actually get it in. To equip, you simply slide it onto either holding hand and it holds pretty well, no issues there. There are 2 ways to store the handles onto the mobile suit. One at the back skirt, you get 2 little holes that you can fill up with your beam saber handle. If you want them to be more hidden, the other option is to store it inside the side skirts, which there are slots for the handles. There we have it with the accessories. So the loadout is complete and well done for a high grade, and it's what you'd expect for a Galluss-J. So again, very faithful to the lore and refreshing to see the kit having all the accessories that it should come with, so you don't have to buy an expansion pack through P Bandai, which can't be said for other kits. Time to see the articulation of this kit, and this is where you'll see that there's a bit of a compromise, so let's get into it. The head is on a double ball joint, but because of the design and the pipes, the movement is very limited. These flaps on the torso can go up and down, the sides of the torso can swing out and in, the arms are on ball joints, the shoulders can swing up and down individually, the sideways of the arms are very limited. Probably one of the worst I've seen, to the point that I'm even questioning myself if it's really like this, but I really tried and it's really this limited. The arm can rotate 360 at the base, the upper bicep 360 as well, single jointed elbow bend a little bit more than 90 degrees, ball joint hand, we get a good torso bend though, so it can look at its toes. Rotation at the torso is okay, a bit limited by the pipes. Side skirts are on ball joints, so there's some movement there. Front skirt can swing up and down, back skirt can swing even more up and down. The hip joint has a dropping gimmick so you can get better kicks. The front kick is around 90 degrees, so is the back kick. Hip rotation is around 360. Knee bend is double jointed, but you don't get as much because of the bulkiness of the lower leg. Ankle movement is great both inward, outward, and rotation. Foot downward bend is good, upward is pretty decent as well. Ankle armor is slightly articulated and the backpack has no movement. Yeah, as you can see, the articulation of this kit isn't very good. Even for this design, I didn't expect it to be this limited. However, you can still get some pretty decent poses if you can work with what you have. And it is pretty good at holding the poses both in air and on the ground if you can find the good pose. Okay, so let's summarize this into my likes and dislikes. For my likes, I love the anime accuracy. Only a bit of painting is needed to get this kit looking great, and it is a great representation of the Izubuchi line art. It really captures the chunkiness and size, so if you're a stickler for anime accuracy, you'll be a fan. Next are the accessories. You basically get all of what you need for the Galluss-J lore-wise. They are all well executed, and it is nice to have it all available out of the box, no further purchases required. Lastly is the stability. The kit is very solid. If you can get it into a nice pose, it will stay that way. Nothing is problematically loose. This kit is a set it on the shelf and forget it type of kit. For my dislikes, the stickers are pretty ugly. They don't work well and they cover actual 3D details in favor of just lines for the vents. Definitely paint it instead. And lastly, the worst part is the articulation. It's really limited, especially at the arms and the head. Even for design, it's impressive how stiff the arm movement is. It's not impossible to get a dynamic pose, but you need to get creative. The articulation is a big compromise. So, is this kit a buy? It depends. If your priority is a kit that looks like it flew out of the anime with complete accessories and has good shelf presence, then this is for you. But if you're the type of builder that wants to get dynamic poses and play with their kit a lot, then this kit is not for you. So that's it for the review. Are you gonna buy it? If you found this helpful, consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Thank you for watching. Bye!